Whew, buddy. Oh my God, we're halfway through another fantastic ETF2L 6v6 autumn season here on teamfortress.tv. I am your fellow runner, Turbo Towers. Joining me on the track as well is Beta. Beta, you made it halfway through, man. How are you feeling?
Pretty good. You know, the Sunday crew's back at it again with another cracker of a game. Yeah, absolutely. This season has been so wild and unpredictable. And right now, these are the two top leading teams, and they have both been shedding points all over the place. So who knows what we're about to see. MANDEM have been looking slightly stronger overall, I would say. TLR, they're on 11 points. MANDEM, they're on 15 points. Both of these teams have lost maps. So, yeah, it is just very, very unpredictable so far. Anything can happen, and I can try and be smart. It's not going to help me, I don't think.
Speaking of being anything can happen, we have J-Max and his lovable computer at the ready for our production tonight. So, I mean, drinking aside, Beta, MANDEM, TLR, I've been watching both of these teams. They've been looking pretty nice. It's not that kind of TF2 where you kind of like go, oh man, I really miss, Witness Gaming in this season. They really have been filling the void when it comes to an entertaining amount of TF2. And yeah, I am fairly certain that this is going to be a close one tonight.
Yeah, I think all the matches have been pretty close. So I think there's a good chance you're right about that. I looked at TLR the first week, and I just immediately wrote them off. They didn't look very strong to me in that first map, but they've really been getting after it. The Flake machine just had to get its engine revving, I think. That's all it was. And we should also mention there's like actually 3 games being played tonight. And if you want to watch one of the other ones, Dum Tum is covering. Can't quite remember which one it was, but it should be the other good game that is happening. And then hopefully some other local heroes is casting the third one. Who knows? But definitely go check out Dum Tum's stream if you want to get a bigger picture of what's happening here. As we will be playing Metalworks first, and then we're going to play Sultry. Sultry is relatively new in European terms. They played it in S46. I'm just going to assume you're an expert here Turbo Tabs.
Yeah, you are. Well, you know me, an old dog like I mean, if Badlands comes back in the map pool, I've got you covered. But otherwise, Sultry is going to be quite new to me. So if you're hearing a lot of lefts and right tonight, like, bear with me.
Yeah, I mean, you can just make up the calls. My big problem is I haven't played the map a whole lot. I played like once or twice, and otherwise I've just only watched it because of them playing it in RGL and S46. So I don't know any of the callouts either. So I'm probably also just going to be making things up. But we are dealing with Metalworks first. We've had since season 16 to get to know that one. So I think we can handle that one, Turbo Tabs. We're good. We're going to get warmed up and look smart before we just ruin our own reputation here. We've got... should we go through the rosters real quick and then we get going?
Speedrun it, Beta. Speedrun it. Okay.
All right, we got Balder and Nikki, aka Yeehaw, playing Scout here. And then we got Lardox and Haunts on Soldiers. I think Lardox is Pocket. Got Fancy on Demo Man, Pickles on Medic. And then over on TLR, we got June on Medic. We got Flick and Pandemic on Scout, Sams on Demo Man, Mattis and Ryan on Soldiers. I love the Matt Ryan Soldier combo. That just sounds badass,
Oh, with time to spare, Beta, I'm very impressed. But maybe you can squeeze in one last little thing for me, and that's who do you think is going to take away our Metalworks map starting off?
I think we're going to see a MANDEM victory 4-2. That's going to be my prediction. What about you?
Yeah, I think you're right on the money. I usually like to be devil's advocate, but I also like to be right. So I'll join you in the MANDEM box here on Metalworks. And I don't know, I can see a TLR. Maybe if they take away that first round, kind of keep MANDEM on their toes. But let's see how right my crystal ball is tonight. If you're just joining us, this is ETF2L 6v6 Autumn 2023. It's week 4, baby, and it's the last resort versus MANDEM. And already I'm seeing on mid. Fancy's there. He's waiting. He's looking at the clock. Where's the other demo man? And yeah. Oh, a big bomb coming in from Lardox will start off our mid, but they do a nice job over on TLR for kind of rotate around and dodge the mere brunt force of all those bombs, and 2 scouts do win on mid.
Fancy's call, but he has a buff though to get in here and make a play with. It's going to give him a slightly better chance here, but his 2 scout is so strong. There's almost no chance for you to actually get anything done there. So that's going to be a nice little win for TLR on this first mid. Both teams basically doing the same mid. No fast soldier. That's kind of been the meta lately, to have a really fast soldier to get onto the enemy demo man. If you do that a couple of times, you're going to get real passive on these mids, and your demo man can kind of get an implicit advantage just off of that. But on this mid, they just kind of both switched sides, and there was a nice bomb in from either Mattis or Ryan. One of the soldiers got onto to Pickles, took him down, and they're going to Uber in now.
Yep, they've Ubered straight in. First thing they need to do is that sentry gun check. Now they're trying to rotate right on top of the minute. My God, everybody was occupying the same square space then. TLR are running over poor MANDEM. It's only Nikki and Fancy alive, and there's just too many souls for one scattergun to deal with, Beta. It's 1-0 already.
Clean push there. Everyone was just so bunched up, and that Mattis bomb was absolutely nuclear. Like, everyone just exploded when he came in there. I think Mattis was one of the only people to actually die in that push, but he was probably the most important player. So, huge play from him. TLR, right off the bat, kind of breaking my prediction a little bit, making me look stupid and making themselves look good. And once again, look how fast Fancy is.
Oh, he's decimated. Oh, he turns it around though. A nice little kind of couple of sets of stickies from that lad. This is surely going to be a checked out mid from the rest of poor MANDEM, as they will lose Horns, because Horns was just far too in to really back out at that point, so he goes for the Hail Mary. And on the bright side, Piggles keeps himself alive because of that early call out here, Beta.
Yeah, that was super weird, just how fast Fancy found himself being overextended. Was there like a sticky trap from Sam's, or was it just two perfect stickies?
No, it's that low ground. You're kind of arching your demo man stickies in that perfect sort of location, really. It's kind of deceiving in a way, whilst the demo man over on the top sort of side doesn't really have the luxury of his stickies, you know, kind of maintaining that mid-air prowess.
Yeah, and this should be kind of interesting what we're going to go into now, because this is going to be the first stalemate of the game. And right now, basically the only things we've been able to say is that TLR has had way better mids, and they've just been rolling that momentum so far. So let's see what happens now when that changes. Now, I'm a little bit interested. I saw both soldiers actually go back there. Okay, I see Mantred's on one of them. Is Ryan and Mattis also on gun? Oh no, Mattis is on gunboats, but Ryan is on...
Mantres.
Yeah, on Mantres.
I have to blow the poor inspect button off dust away to kind of check that one. But yeah, we've got Ryan rocking that Mantres. Will go in now, and first initial jump does get taken out by the sentry gun, but it doesn't get pushed around. So, you know, there's some of it.
Yeah. Well, he did spot where Pickles was standing, which was next to that dispenser, and that's actually really important info, because he did a big double jump, and obviously you take a ton of damage. You take like 90 damage when you do that. Yeah. Right, with the Mantreds, but actually you can just jump right over the wall, because normally with the gunboat you can't do that because the sentry gun will push you back, but the Mantreds give you resistance to push back, so you can actually just jump over the wall, right, and just immediately jump onto him. So now that he knows that Pickles is likely to stand in that area, you can just jump over the wall and shoot 2 rockets at him, and he might drop him or pop him.
There is another aspect that I don't really see TLR abusing too much, is when you got one dude on the Mantreds and tanking the majority of that knockback from the sentry gun, you could have another man behind you, Peter.
True.
You know,
oh, red like a bull. Second soldier comes in.
It looks like they wanted to do that play that I was talking about, but, you know, it's just one guy got melted by a sticky trap, and the June actually has to pop off the Uber during all this chaos. Nice little find by Fancy, and they're going to push out with this, Peter.
Yeah, and June just leaves while Pandemic is kind of trying to stay in, get his best work done. No luck at all. Pickles full Uber advantage right now to work with. And it's just going to be a matter of not falling to a sticky trap. Metalworks is pretty notorious for having a ton of sticky trap spots that you have to watch out for. Like, especially when you walk through this corridor, it is nerve-wracking. They're actually just going to pop right in. Sam's immediately getting deleted. Just a sticky pipe combo takes him down, but everyone else did manage to get out.
Yeah, they just took the scout taxi out. Easy clap for TLR. But, I mean, you could call this a mission success if you're over on the side of TLR. On MANDEM, however. They do try and make a counter sack, as they try to push in from this alleyway, but they find really not much past the soldier.
Yeah, and we're now in the situation where one team's going to have an Uber ad There's the seesaw kind of situation, and it's going to be an ad on TLR. Let's see if they can actually make their way in there. Being a little bit slow, and you can see everyone on MANDEM is just out of there. They don't want to mess with it. They're going to give up the point for an Uber equalization, basically.
Yeah, it looks like two theories or kind of philosophies taken from both of these teams. One wants to be much conservative, one kind of wants to get the party going with these Ubers. But let's see if some philosophies change. It's still a young game here, 23 minutes left.
Plenty of time. So this is why we normally see the big soldier bomb-ins. Ryan's going to just do that. Tries to actually get onto the demo man, gets taken down. There's going to be no second soldier. Usually what you see is that soldiers jump in very aggressively, and then maybe sometimes you see a scout trying to sneak in through lower as well. And this time around, it was just going to be a single soldier sack. We actually have a really aggressive posturing from MANDEM coming out of here.
Ooh. Don't like this, Peter. Don't like this one bit. They are giving them a lot of free ground over on TLR, and they actually decide against it, I guess, over on MANDEM, maybe expecting just a free pick somewhere, and because they couldn't find it easy, they just decided to play it safe.
Yeah, I kind of like this moving forward, because if you get another pick, if someone's holding a little bit too far forward or something, not expecting you to push, then you can really start snowballing it with a two-man advantage, and then you can just make it work out for you really well. Whereas if you don't get that pick, you can just retreat and go back and restabilize. Han's going to jump in very aggressively, takes down Sams. It's a very aggressive play right there. It's actually very risky for Hans, but it works out this time around. But looks like nobody really cares if they lost the demo man. They're just in, unable to really make his way through the wall of people that's between him and Pickles there. So Ryan's going to jump back out, restabilize. Let's see if Sam does something weird here, if he's just going to stay. Okay, he doesn't even hold the door open or anything. So just going to be another cookie cutter situation here. But let's see if they try to commit maybe more soldiers or sneak a scout in under or something else. Because that one soldier bomb is always kind of sad to look at.
A lot of respect, really, being given out by MANDEM. I feel like they're a team that knows where they are in the pecking order. I think they know that they're the strongest sort of suited team
Double
in the
soldier bomb.
ETF2L.
Here we go.
And they're both focusing on Fancy, and doesn't quite take him out. So that could have been
and Sams goes down as well. Lodox gets him. This is a disaster right now. This is exactly what MANDEM was looking for.
Scout Chariot to maybe kind of throw a wrench in the works, though, and making the multi a lot. Flick goes behind as well. May threaten that back cap, may threaten the kill on somebody. So it'd be an interesting and kind of practiced for situation that MANDEM have on their hands.
Yeah, I really like putting Flick behind here. That's going to be so annoying to deal with. He's going to come up for the back cap now. Actually decides not to step on the point. That's good.
We got a pause.
All right, first pause of the night. Out of what I'm going to predict is a whole lot. I don't know. There's been a lot of pauses recently. I don't know why. I think Europe's internet is dying. That's my own personal theory there. Yeah, look, it's kind of picturesque the way MANDEM are placed up. Look at that. Two scouts in the demo on the point, medics behind it, then Haunts and Lodox kind of behind, getting ready to jump in.
What's the name of this studio album? What's the band going to be called?
Me and the Boys. Yeah.
Well, Peter, at least this gives us an opportunity to kind of break down what's been happening in the game. And I want to talk about the fact that Zams is going down a lot, like dying a lot.
Yes.
I don't know what's happening with the poor lad. I'm not sure if he's got magnets in his head or in his body, but he's attracting a lot of attention. Do you feel like he's just being focused by MANDEM, or is it just him just giving his life up?
Like, I feel like what he's doing is trying to contribute to the suicide waves, right? Which in theory is a very good idea, right? Like, you want to send in two soldiers, and if you can also have some pipes or some stickies in the mix as well, that's going to help out a lot. That's kind of what you want to see out of a team. It shouldn't just be the soldiers jumping in on their own. There should be like scouts pressuring and demo spamming in as well. He's just been overdoing it a little bit and getting caught out. And you know, credit to the soldiers, especially on MANDEM, to really able to cut him off and catch him out. All right, so I feel like he should maybe just play it a little safer, or maybe change his positioning somehow. I don't know what kind of positioning you can change. Usually when you're inside that corridor, that's about as safe as you can be on demo man. It's so comfortable to just stand in there. So maybe just don't get quite as close to the door and just spam a little bit more safely or get out faster, something like that. I think it's just going to be a small optimization for him to not die as much.
Now, this is a peculiar mid. We're going to be going into the fact that Flick is behind and not really addressed. I mean, he was addressed in the first couple of 10 seconds or so as they were unfolding, but decided to bring back all the troops to deal with the push going in. And there's one or two ways I can see this ending, Beta. They either throw all their bodies, their sort of advantage of players, straight into the TLR group, kind of all-inning in a way, and play off the fact that Flick is not with him quite yet, or they can kind of play it steady and just kind of hope that that sort of mid-advantage, that sort of forward respawn gives them those sort of reinforcements back. Oh, we'll see how it goes, Beta.
Yeah, so Flick is just hiding in behind line. Okay, he's going to get overwhelmed there. But actually, he got overwhelmed because everyone retreated back out here from MANDEM, and they're going to come back in now. It looks like they're going to be able to do it. They've done so much damage to the soldiers. Matt is not long for this world. Gets taken down, and that worked out really well for them. Flick probably should have been a little more passive there, just waiting for his team to get in, and then could maybe prey on the enemy team as they one by one retreated back to the medkit. But as it is, pretty fine. It's going to have an Uber exchange here. T-Lon with the slight advantage here, but Pickles not even in the same area code.
Yeah, just takes a scout taxi out, and it's just not even a scout chase, really, with all that sort of spam deterring Pandemic away. They did have a little bit of advantage, so I can see what they're trying to do here, but it's just not really the sort of right other cards in their deck.
Yeah, Pickles, that Uber is so scary that they're just going to be able to muscle them out of second and have this nice Uber ad going into last.
Yeah,
there's no sentry or anything. There's a pyro at spawn. I think he gave up on that. And again, they're just so close into the spawn.
Yeah, they're not giving them any room to kind of immediately feed, however. They're doing a bit of banny binding and just trying to play off the spawn door alone, but that does make this point very volatile to being capped like that, and it will be a drawing round. My crystal ball's looking golden so far, though, Peter.
Absolutely. I'm gonna say we're both looking pretty fine so far, to be honest. As yeah, right now these last holds, I think both teams need to spread out more because they're just all bunched up near spawn, and there's just no way they ever get out to the point. Like, even without the point getting pressured, they're just getting murdered.
Hey, you notice now, Fancy's now taking the low ground. He's taking some inspiration from Zams, and is not going to give away or fall for his life just yet. And very passive mid so far. The both soldiers do kind of go into the thick of things for MANDEM.
Oh, Matt
finds a kill onto Pickles. They just need to protect poor June, and it's looking pretty good, but in the same breath, Peter, June goes down.
Yeah, doesn't look so good now, does it? It's a very, very good job by all the soldiers there, getting onto the medic. And this is really chaotic. There's going to be Lardox left, though. Does get a kill onto Flick. It's going to be a 3-on-1 at this point now, though, so we can't really do much more. But yeah, neither team's going to end up with much of an advantage here. Just the fact that there's no medics and no scouts left on this mid makes it so that the game just completely slows down. You're going to be able to set up on second very easily. You're going to be able to set up on mid very easily as well. So now we're just in here for the good old stalemate. No crits creaks at all. This would be a pretty optimal crit situation normally when both medics spawn like that, but neither medic decide to do so, even though Pickles is kind of notorious for going a lot of crits.
Yeah, I've been seeing some resurgence of crits coming back in the modern day, but I think the word is still out on it. It's not really that good, in my opinion, but who knows? There's a long season ahead. Maybe they can change my mind about it. But in the meantime, they're going to play it safe. I wondered if they were going to posture about going and attacking this mid before TLR is fully set up, but instead they're going to just set up on second instead, wait for everybody to get involved.
Yeah, the spawners were just way too slow and you didn't have enough heals or anything like that. It is really just, when you have that kind of survivors on a mid, it's just so difficult to not be static as it is. And we had another soldier bomb in and Sam's didn't die. So, you know, that's progress right there. Flick is pressuring bottom. He's trying to shoot his balls in there. And again, Ryan's going to jump in. And this round, he actually gets in behind. So if he gets onto the medic, that could actually be really good. He has 2 players chasing him, so any kind of pressure forward, they're going to have a numerical advantage.
Yeah, they're spamming Pickles out from his little bunker. Usually that place is heaven for a medic in this point. If anyone just bombs on top of you, just close the door.
Yeah, very true. Having a soldier behind like that is actually really annoying for a medic because, as you said, you can just walk in through the shutter normally, but if there's a soldier behind, well, if you go into that room, you're just in a room with walls all around you and you just get killed by the soldier if he times it right. So, very difficult here. MANDEM, once again, gonna follow up this suicide bomb in here by going forward, see what they can find. They find nothing, and then they just go back and hang out. So, definitely a pattern and something that they've worked on here. They're not just gonna sit back and wait. They're gonna take some sort of initiative, even off of small advantages, even when defending second.
So this is a difficult position that TLR have been put in. I think they've had places and situations like this happen before, but it resulted in them losing the round. And now
Ryan in again, gets one nice rocket off.
Flicks in, by the way. He's on top of Pickles. Nobody's really accounted for him, but they do actually force out the Uber from Pickles. So it's the best of a bad situation for the young medic, but let's see how TLR deal with maybe just 2 players down. No, they're not even going to go for the push.
Yeah, it's the classic sneak a scout in lower while you do that. Big bomb. While everyone else is looking up in the sky trying to shoot him down. It's a really effective play. Kind of surprised he actually got away with it, but he did. And TLR, they're taking their time. Like, Pickles is already on 60% Uber. If they don't push soon, he's actually going to have it.
Yeah, they're already making their way through the alleyway now, and Zams has got an eye on any sort of soldier that could jump in. They're already out over on MANDEM. Again, very respectful for both teams so far.
Yeah, they don't really take big chances there. Like, MANDEM is definitely more aggressive in the way that they play this so far, but yeah, they don't just stay out there for no reason. They are going to actually retreat and give up the point for the Ugrad here as well. So we're back on last. These last points, they haven't been that good. These last holds, I should say.
Nope, sentry gun. Gone down for 3. That's good signs for TLR. They even lose a, I think that was a scout. Yeah, a full fat scout in the mix. So they could probably go a bit slower with this Uber if they really wanted to. No snipers or anything.
Yeah, Fancy gets bombed here by a soldier. A lot of players in Sam's will get taken down again. A bit too aggressive that time around. I would definitely say he probably should have gotten out faster.
Oh, Pandemic even loses connection with his medic, and that does allow.
June gets forced as well. Basically nothing you can do with this. That was just so bad. He got bounced right next to the door. So absolute disaster push there. Doesn't work out at all. And MANDEM, they can now push out here onto mid with a full grad.
Yeah, they're trying to spam the little door as much as they can, and they get in mid quite successful. Pickles even staggering his movement to make sure he doesn't die to any sort of bombs, but there was no bombs coming from TLR, and they still have this Uber charge in their back pocket. They can still afford to be fancy. Trying to go for the fancy jump does get denied by some spam, however, so this Uber charge will be null and kind of sorted. They're still considering fighting here over on TLR, and yeah, they are all kind of set into this little bunker area. They have the sticky set up, and the flank is failing them over on MANDEM, Peter.
Yeah, that was a very interesting decision there, because things can go really wrong even though you have the Uber ad. The safe normal play would definitely be to just hang back there, but they played it out much more aggressively, which meant they were in a much better position once their own Uber advantage kicked in. Now a soldier locked into the skybox, want to get onto the medic?
No.
Too slippery there on June. Absolutely no rockets hitting her at all. As they're just going to move in here. Pickles is on 80%. He's probably going to have it here for last, but still overall a really nice push in here onto second from TLR, just taking all that space without losing anyone. That's very difficult to do when you have bombing soldiers like Laura that's just hiding in the skybox basically, just ready to swoop down on you at any moment. Ryan's gonna jump in. That almost felt like a scouting bomb, but yeah, he somehow managed to get out alive. But yeah, we're back here.
I think it's just a little bite. Instead of going for some sort of big pick, he's like, what sort of player can I just catch out at a random doorway here? And they do have even Ubers between these two teams, so going for those sort of small plays is probably more beneficial than just going for an unlikely big play.
Yeah, there was no sentry for a while there. Boulder now finally has begun to set it up. It's only level 2 though, so 2 rockets can take it down. And we're just taking slow. Pickles still playing pretty far forward. Again, that sentry gun is not in the best position to deny soldiers, so yeah, you can definitely get on the Pickles in these situations. Obviously, they don't know about it quite yet, but it's pretty interesting to see what they do. We've seen the man tread situations before. They need to send in a soldier to die before they can switch to man treads here. And also, I should mention that we have banners, and Metalworks Last is a pretty good last to build banners on.
Oh.
Yeah, they banned the best banner. They banned the battalion's backup, but you can still use the other 2. Oh my god!
It's kind of going bad wares for poor little MANDEM. They're losing everybody one by one. Lordox might be the next one to go down as well. Boulder has to hold the point on his lonesome with the Uber charge, but they counter so much later over on TLR, and I mean, this is buying time for all the respawners. I think they might be able to hold this, but they need to get everybody on the point right now. There we go. The collapse comes in. Beta. It's a very, very good decision by MANDEM to just pop off the Uber and just kind of delay the time there. I don't care what Uber you've got on TLR. You're not going to kill all those players on your lonesome.
Yeah, I even think Sam's ran out of stickies. At the very least, he wasn't using them when everyone was standing on the point.
Question mark?
Sometimes it works. You know, you're a hero, maybe.
I think there's some frustration kind of showing there. You know, when you have a push like that, you feel like you had the last dead to rights, and then everything just kind of beefs a little bit. You feel like you need to take things into your own hero hands.
Yeah, we've got TLR being pushed out of there. Mattis goes down. Ryan only just barely managed to get out as well. They're going to leave a scout on the point and move forward here. They only have 20% Uber at. So if they want to get second for free, they're going to need to make a move real fast here. Looks like they're going to send in the soldiers. Actually,
Flick.
Yeah, just trying to...
Not everyone's on the same wavelength. I think he felt like the advantage was not that great. He wanted to stay in, but the rest of his team felt uncomfortable. Maybe the Uber charge was not quite ready just then, or maybe everyone was already just too much out.
Yeah, okay. Hans tried to get in there, but gets absolutely stopped.
Zams has gone down again.
Oh dear. That is not good. This push should be so difficult to stop. Yeah, they can only stop it with an Uber.
Yeah, they've got so much later Uber, and the respawners will be coming back now. So they might get a taste of their own medicine. Nobody blocking point finally comes in now, but they stagger their people just enough to maybe farm out this last build bit. Haunts comes back from the living. He's going on point now instead now. A nice value rocket.
Wow, that was so huge. Both soldiers there, both Lardox and then Haunts just came in and did so much work. Just those splash rockets on the point just made all the difference in that situation. One nice little pipe from Fancy. That's going to make it 2-1 in favor of MANDEM, and they're looking pretty good so far. It looks like MANDEM in general does better, but not by a whole lot. So, and especially their mids have not been good.
I feel like TLR are losing their mental just a little bit, BT. You just see a couple of players doing unorthodox mistakes. There was so much tighter formation before, but a round does give you a chance to mentally reset here, so maybe expect more of a traditional TLR.
Yeah, once again though, these mids for TLR are just rock solid. There's just absolutely no doubt that they're going to win them at any point, it seems like. So... It is actually really difficult to win a TF2 match if you can't win mids. It is just so much more work.
Yeah, you say that, but MANDEM actually feel like they found the formula. They aren't throwing Pickles into the sort of thicker things. They just think like, okay, we just need an Uber charge on last, and then we can just build the round up from this last point. And they've done it a couple of times now, and you know, now that you've got the timer on your side, it's got to be even more pressure for TLR.
Yeah, it's just, the thing is, like, usually when you hold last like this, at some point things go wrong. And when things go wrong, you instantly lose. So you just never want to be on last like this. It's just uncomfortable. It looks like Nicky's going to put his sentry, like, smack dab in the middle here. Ryan's, he's going to find, he's actually in really deep. Alright. It was pretty good job of that by Pickles, like all the way back in spawn. No chance in hell for Ryan there to get in. But I think he just wants to switch to man-treads, if I had to guess. That just seems to be his whole agenda. Yeah, he's on man-treads.
Yeah, he's on man-treads now. I think he might have been on man-treads earlier then, because he seemed to like kind of sailed in for free, really. But
okay,
yeah.
He was already on man-treads. Okay, got it.
But unless there's a cruel mistress in TF2, you do have that sort of free bunker. Could you imagine a spawn that you weren't allowed to go back in, Peter? Ugh.
Oh my god, that would be so nice. Pandemic's gonna get taken down.
The dispenser stock has gone up immensely here.
Yeah, like literally cannot not have an engineer. It's probably a bad idea already. Probably just ban engineer, right? Problem solved.
No, let's just completely change the game. One item, one class at a time. Make it Team Fortress Classic.
Yeah. I'm actually really upset now that you mentioned using the man-tread soldier to block to take the damage from the sentry gun and then have the other soldier jump in right next to him. Oh, the sniper goes down. Lawless goes down as well. Here comes the bombers. This could go wrong.
Yeah, Ryan's just setting himself at the back area. He can span the sentry gun with ease, and Nicky doesn't really want to commit himself staying on that heel, so we'll instead go backwards to kill Ryan on his way to a clash change. Pandemic, he's on the point for 3 though. Last Nicky's on the point already.
My God, they don't get it.
Cap time. That was that wrong move you were talking about, Peter, and it's 2-2.
It is. It's a cruel mistress. Boulder overextends a little bit there on Sniper. Waddox tried to defend it. He gets taken down as well. It's just so quick to snowball 2-2 immediately. It is a dangerous game to play. So this is what I'm talking about, where if you don't win mids, it can actually just be so much more difficult to win a game. Even though I feel like MANDEM overall has played better in the flow of things, just the fact that they're losing mids just make it so much more difficult for them.
Oh, boyfriend bomb coming out from MANDEM. They throw Lardox in the initial sort of bunch, but I think Horns took the long scenic route around. He's taken the long scenic route around again, but they've already rotated sides over on the last resort. The only difference here, they've got a Demoman advantage over the TLR squad, so maybe if they can play off the damage that Fancy can lay out, they could make this work here, but they're actually just capping right in front of them. Eventually you're going to have to do some of TLR.
They just want to pelt them down until they can't fight anymore because they don't have the medic to heal with.
But will the back caps start flowing, I guess? They do have the soldiers accounting and the demo man as well accounting for all those players, and they finally go in onto those sort of pelted down teammates on that midpoint. They do have to cap mid again, however, but I mean, a plan successful, it's just a very slow plan.
Yeah, I can't get over it. Like, I think Madden shot the medic into the air, and then Ryan just came in and perfectly shot him out of the air. Just actual boyfriend bomb kind of stuff going on here. They're going to have an Uber ad into last. It's not very big, but if they're fast, it's really nice. And you can see everyone, and once again, just playing in that back line. They have no one over on the left to spread themselves out thin. So a big bomb in there could really make a difference.
Scout on point. Actually denies another scout. They have to pop the Uber to defend the last point. They haven't used the Uber charge here. Zam goes down again, and no Uber charge has been put out. I mean, if they get out of it, they're going for last. And Horns is taken out. They're going right on top of Piggles. There's only a few more souls left, but there's going to be 4 more seconds. There's going to be another load of players coming back from the spawn, but there's just not enough time, as they will cap off the point here over on TLR. They're feeling cushy again. Got the lead.
Yeah, that was a real brave push coming out there. I think most teams would have just retreated back, waited for respawners, and then gone in with an Uber ad. They just decided to go in with a soldier and a scout. And I think it just caught out Pickles and some other player as well, right?
I mean, if that was a heavy weapons guy over on the last point, I think he would have been a different story there, but it was not to be. Another minute, another dawn, another day. 2 minutes left, and already they're going for a much more aggressive mid over on MANDEM, and I guess that goes to show why they haven't been doing it. They've been mulched here, Peter.
Yeah, and again, Pickles just immediately get taken down by Mattis. So Mattis and Ryan, they don't like Pickles on these mid. They just instantly take him down. The only time we see him not die is when he plays really passively on mid, and then can go back and hold last. But yeah, TLR's mids are just absolutely dominant. It is carrying them in this game so far. and they're making the most out of it. They're going to get another push here. There's 2 minutes remaining. They could actually decide not to push and just slow things down if they really wanted to.
They're going in. Pause is on top. He's taken out Zams. They popped off the Uber, and they will get one frag from said Uber, but they take a scout taxi out. They're taking things back to last. I understand what they're trying to do here on Mandem. They have to take things into a fast pace. Scout chariot involved. Piggles in full sort of swing mode, but will go down to the third person trying to attempt at his life. But there's no time to stop, Beta. Go, go, go. Fifth gear only here on Mandem.
Yeah, and this is just such an annoying situation because, yeah, they're going to get second, but losing Piggles is going to make it so difficult to take middle. And they're not going to have time to build an Uber before they push. TLR, they're ahead 3-2. There's 1 minute and 15 seconds remaining. You just have to go. It takes 40 seconds to build an Uber.
Kritzkrieg being built up by Piggles. So
that
if
makes sense.
It does come down to a sort of last moment ditch Kritzkrieg thing. They can keep this party going with just the momentum alone. So they're going to make an attempt at a push now. It's going to be a dry one, and it's going to be an even harsher one because they've got an Uber charge involved. They're actually taking the Uber charge aggressive against it. And Zams gets a nice pipe onto Lordog. They're pushing out the rest of the combo, but the flank is doing wonders here. And Fancy's joined the flank as well. He will finally go down, but with a couple of trades here and there, Piggles is still alive. Boulder's playing his best sort of scout impression. They're capping off mid and just ignoring Pandemic during all this. And Pandemic's trying to nip at the heels and will go down trying to contest this midpoint with 20 seconds left. I'm not sure if it's even possible at this point. Matt is going to be holding the forward respawn. That's going to be annoying if they does come out and delay things on the second point.
Yeah,
he's going
this is not that bad. Oh, he popped the
6 seconds left. Oh no, crit. Oh wow.
3 seconds.
Yeah,
just not enough time. You were right. They just couldn't quite get there in time. It was a valiant effort there from MANDEM, but they're going to lose the first map 3-2. They were ahead 2-1. That's going to feel real bad for them. I want to go to look at the logs and see what the mid-fight count was, because I'm pretty sure MANDEM didn't win a single one.
Yeah, you read my mind. Let's have a look. See, I've got them right here. I'm adjusting my damage. I'm seeing Boulder at the top here. And, well, I mean, I guess, you know, like, I think he was having a good general grand old time. There was a lot of sort of, a mid would happen, then it would go to a last. And then the transitional plays between these two teams were so well respected and kind of given away a lot of the times. I think a lot of these stats just could boil down to what happens on mid.
Yeah, if you look at it, there's only one mid fight that they won, and that's the one where they lost their medic and then they slowly got spammed out, and then they lost mid anyway. So the one mid fight they get in the logs isn't a real mid win. So that's actually insane how much TLR just absolutely dominated them on that. So next map is going to be Sultry, very different map, kind of new for European players overall, I would say, and also a pretty different mid from Metalworks, I would say.
I do want to give a bit of credit to TLR. It looks like they were losing their way a bit on just sort of discipline on little bits and bobs. Some players kind of playing a bit hero, but after like a new round would happen, they would go to the mid. It was almost like a nice refresh for them, like a back to normal sort of thing. The soldiers go back in formation, and they made some really nice decisions as well that won them those rounds. So very well played by TLR. But yeah. I gotta give credit to MANDEM though. There were some nice decisions made out by them. I feel like they did some very good scrappy plays. It was always on the defense, however. It was always like these sort of last-ditch efforts on last to kind of clutch things out. And clutch they did, but they just didn't have enough in the tank, I'm afraid.
Dude, look at Sam's logs. 4 and 14, 155 damage per minute. That is so low. They won. That is crazy. Sam's had a really bad map and they won. I mean, that's a good sign, right? There's no way he's going to play worse than the second map. He's a good player.
Yeah. It's going to be interesting. I think MANDEM, this is the first time they've had a map loss. Correct me if I'm wrong. So this might rattle them there. The champion usually likes being the champion on the top. And when you feel a fault in your armor, you kind of start doubting whether or not it's going to protect you anymore.
Yeah, it does go to show just how close this season is, though. Everyone can lose to everyone. If you don't play perfectly, you're just going to lose. And here's a tip: nobody plays perfect because we're all human and flawed. So in that way, this is like an incredibly even season, and for that way, should be very exciting to follow all the way through because you just don't know what you can expect at the time. So very, very interesting. So next map, Sultry. So Turbo Taps, you told me you were an expert here. What are you expecting?
All right, okay. Well, looking at the mid, it looks like the love child of every single map that's ever come before it. I'm seeing elements of Gully Wash, Badlands. There's some bits stolen from like that one King of the Hill, the map the Americans play. I think we play it actually a little bit as well. Clear Cut, yeah. So really is, and look. I also want you to point out, Peter, just how many levels of elevation there are on this map. There's like 7. There's like 7 goddamn levels.
Yeah. Actually, I just noticed something that I have never noticed because I'm zooming around the map. Those 2 buildings, the clear-cut towers that you were talking about, they have missiles at the top of them.
Oh, so
I have no idea.
Oh, isn't that cool?
Yeah. They're like missile silos. They're just camouflaged like that. That's cool. I had no idea.
I'm not gonna lie, I haven't had an eye on this map, so I don't know what the mids will play out exactly. I mean, I don't think we've seen a Prem, or at least I haven't seen a Prem sort of official on it yet, so whether or not, I mean, you guys might know out there if you've been playing your like sort of lower games and all this, but we don't know how the air quotes correct way of playing it is in the EU land, so I'll be interested to see what the best way to do this is, Peter.
Yeah, like I've seen a lot of S46 and RGL maps or games on this map, but I don't know if it's going to play differently now that you actually have good players playing on it. So yeah, usually what you see is like some really fast bombs like off of the tower, or you see the soldiers sit back and wait, and then they buy their time and then come in and find one of those high ground places. There's like the little ledge over one of the entrances, just like two boards or whatever. Like soldiers love to land on that.
Well, if you're just joining us, this is ETF2L 6v6 Autumn 2023. It's week 4 of the Last Resort versus MANDEM, and Last Resort do take the first map, so let's see how they do on this second map here of CP Sultry and Town. Joining me with Peter and J Max Chill as well, all watching to see Lardox jump straight on top, dealing with Zams again. I feel like he's the 3 square on this bingo card for TLR.
Alright, well at least they murdered the hell out of June on this mid. It was about time the other medic found out what it feels like. There's no way Fancy's going to survive this, and it's going to be another TLR mid win here. Not quite as clean as what we saw in Metalworks, but they just continue their mid dominance. It's kind of crazy.
Yeah, there's a lot of corners, a lot of twists and turns. It feels like that one painting where the stairs are on the ceiling and the archways are on the kind of walls. But a lot of twists and turns to lose track of players here. So I can see a lot of mids maybe going this way. But we're going to get set up on second now. Nobody's got an Uber charge, but I don't think anybody's going to have an Uber charge. To kind of go aggressive with either, so it's going to be steady.
Okay, never mind. He's no longer in a good position. Okay, basically, you see on that when you're looking into second point, there's this left corridor kind of side, right?
It's like a river.
Yeah, right. But like, they can see if you go in on the left. Actually, just going to Uber in here onto Pickles before he gets to Uber. I didn't even notice there was an Uber ad.
But yeah, they're really segmented away from the rest of TLR though. They have this Uber charge in the back pocket, but they're losing too many people on too many different sides. Pickle has to pop off the Uber charge now. They might get a couple of kills, but TLR, where are TLR? They're all dead. Oh my god.
Yeah. It was really nice. We have Ryan hiding behind. They definitely know. We can see Fancy putting stickies on the shutter door here. So they're aware of it. So Ryan, he's just going to see if he can go back here until last, maybe get some sneaky picks. Looks like he's going to run into a scout. This is the saddest moment in the entire game, when you try to be sneaky and you just run into a scout or jump into a scout. He just picks you out of the air. So looking pretty good for MANDEM right now. They've stabilized. Pushing into mid from second though should be really difficult, but they don't care. They are in.
Yeah, and this is the sad affair for being a soldier on this map. I feel like there's a lot of places that it's hard to kind of get a rocket connected. They do find Zams, however. The free square is found from TLR, and they will kind of play off the demo man advantage, walk forward. They use an overcharge on mid to hold on to this sort of respawn advantage on their side, and they're just kind of brushing up against each other. I haven't seen these sorts of classic brush-ups of
Pandemic
Ubers in a
two
while.
shots Balder, though. That's huge. That could absolutely be the deciding factor. And yeah, they're just going to move out of there. Just for one little moment there, Pickles wasn't looking, and Balder just gets 2-shot. All right,
Matt, he's in. He's on top of Pickles. Pickles takes the flying side. He was aggressive on TLR, but everybody else decides to back out instead. And I feel like everyone is not quite squared away on this map, Beta. Everyone's holding in very different positions than I expect them to.
Yeah, like so far they've really struggled to stop people just running through the chokes. It is, I will say that this holding this second point can actually be quite difficult. The two main entrances, like the choke and the side entrance, they're really far from each other, and then there's also the corridor on the side. So it is quite difficult to keep track of all of that at the same time. But so far they've absolutely not even been close to doing it. Sam's, it looks like he's about ready to shoot in here as a rocket.
Well, the sentry gun has been built, but it has been swiftly taken out, and they just kind of rotate back all the way to the spawn door area to see if they can just kind of pick off some people here and there. But they occupy a lot of same square space. MANDEM do manage to get out, though, however, into this last point, but they're dancing around it quite well over on TLR. Lardux, doesn't quite have enough rockets in the chamber to take out this last defender, or attacker, I should say.
Yeah, I loved you just jumping into Lardux there at the end to make sure that he couldn't get to the point. Doesn't matter if she dies, the point cap comes out. That's actually a really fun, nice play from her. But yeah, it's going to be 1-0 for TLR. They got the initial mid win and some back and forth. Eventually, they managed to get it. Let's see if they can win another mid.
Yep, soldiers go aggressive, high in the sky, and they can't seem to really find anyone. Horns loves kind of playing these sort of edges of the map and decides to jump in later, but doesn't really have the same impact. Will trade his life away, but the positioning is so much more stronger from TLR, and their soldiers are still alive. A lot of threatening presence by them still being alive here, Beta.
Yeah, soldier looks like they want to just keep on pressuring on the second there. I think losing Pandemic, though, that's going to absolutely call that whole idea off. So they're just going to be able to hold mid. I think Fancy is walking forward. He's just alone.
Hello, team?
Just Fancy. All on his own. That's
the man.
Weird.
Yeah, this is definitely new map syndrome. It looks like MANDEM are by far the most untuned on this map compared to TLR, as they have people just bleeding in, or they have people just not kind of standing in the right sort of... I don't want to say right, because I don't know what right is quite, but they're at least not together, you know? They're not coordinated in these things. Everyone has their own ideas.
Yeah, absolutely. Lardux here in the corridor going to be pushed back really aggressively. However, Ryan going down there, that's going to kind of bail them out of that situation. And Hans tried to go in here. Does eventually get taken down, but 3 players down now. If TLR want to hold it, they're going to have to. Looks like the answer is they don't want to, but Sam's might die though. Oh, he survives. Okay, but that was a little scary looking, and he might die still. He does.
Down again. I don't know why, but the man is just going down at a comical rate, and they're going to surely just pick a door, any door. They're not scared anymore over on MANDEM, and a bit of a cheeky sort of peekaboo's coming out for TLR. They will respond with the overcharge just to solidify things a bit, but they can come back in here, Beta.
Yeah, they don't want to give up the second point for free. They have really nice position. It's actually relatively easy to push this second point from your own last, I think. Like, you're almost at the same level as the team holding second. Hans in, takes a nice rocket there from Mattis. Gonna get taken down. Meanwhile, Lardux in the skybox, ready to jump onto a medic. Looks like he's gonna settle for the demo man instead. Nikki will follow up on his damage. And this is just both teams desperately trying to hold on to their points. Man, this is so chaotic right now.
Yeah, they're just both teams are taking a page out of the same book, just playing off that chariot scan to see what sort of players they can gobble up that's being aggressive. On the bright side for MANDEM, they have quicker respawns because they have that midpoint still, so I can see why they want to take these trades a bit more. It could have gone a bit bad for MANDEM in that sort of mix because it looked like Fancy was just not following up immediately as how I would have liked it, but it is hard to kind of get the timings or the feel for this map. So as they are trying to sheep their way in, they do get a soldier in on Haunts, but they don't quite get a kill until June, however.
Yeah, very true. We have finally settled down a little bit here. Let's see what they do. So, you know, I talked about that corridor earlier, right? So there's 2 doors in it. One's kind of up on the point and one's farther down. If you're being sneaky as a scout, you can get onto those crates or those barrels, right? And then you can jump over the door, and then the enemy team or the team that's holding might not see that you're really close. So you can kind of be sneaky like that. And then when you have a soldier bomb in, you can just run a scout in onto the point. Very often, you can just be right on top of the medic. So that's something you need to watch out for all the time when you're defending here. So that's at least something I've noticed from watching RTL and House Fortress.
They trying to kind of
oh, the sticky trap.
This is why we don't just push through a door like that, Vita. It's just the power of the Darrow Man, and maybe they're used to getting in for free for majority of the map, but Zams was alive at this instance and will use those sticky traps if forced. So with kind of a free sort of set of points given, they can keep pushing this momentum, I think.
Yeah, Pandemic almost gets caught out there by Lardox. Looks like he's going to survive another day. Still even Ubers. It's just been both teams losing a bunch of players and then getting pushed back. You know, that's kind of how it's been going. So right now we have a sticky trap on the barrels on right, or on the crates rather, and then some choke as well.
I like that name, bowels. There's a lot of bowels in this corridor area.
Yeah, I've been calling corridors barrels. I have no idea. Yeah, if it's right.
Yeah, it's we need to play a couple of pugs. You know, get caught up with the lingo.
Yeah, whenever I play Tier 2 pickup, nobody ever votes for this map.
Touche.
Kind of sad. Yeah, it's sad. They just want to play Process and Snake all day.
Well, teams obviously feeling a bit like bruised from that sort of sticky trap. They don't want to just like enter in for free. They will throw in some soldiers, some very basic play, and they get a pick over on the flank for Haunts and company, so this should be allow them. And there's no stickies to really deny them from getting in from this doorway. They're going to do what they've always done though, and that's a Pandemic Uber trade. Boulder is this time trying to hunt and smell for any sort of free picks his way. And a lot of his players are actually involved in this mid-fight, despite the fact that I think TLR had a bad position to really hold.
Yeah, TLR get pushed out. They lose the mid in this whole thing. That's the only thing they really lose. So now they're going to be holding second. Let's see if MANDEM can figure out how to pressure this. As I said, I feel like you have a lot of space on this second point to push through. If you put pressure on the right side and then in barrel corridor as well, it's very difficult for the defending team to properly cover everything.
Plus, I think you can get a soldier in pretty easily. That choke area does look accessible. It doesn't look like there's too many areas that the medic can definitely stay safe in this second point, so I can see why they want to throw soldiers in.
Yeah, it's kind of like the Process ramp, right, where it's just a soldier cannon where every once in a while you're just going to have a soldier get fired out of the gun. Out of it.
Yeah, the difficult aspect is, however, there's a lot of space for the scouts to kind of get that high ground, meet the soldier in the air basically, and maybe even like block him, you know, American football style.
Yeah, Biggles almost slipped there. Made out. Oh, Lardox somehow
pipe
found its man eventually. I don't know. That pipe was preordained to hit him. I think that was a real prediction pipe. Eventually gets him taken down. So one man down. Let's see if TLR wants to pressure this. TLR looks like not quite as willing to put pressure on with small advantages as MANDEM is. And I mean, can you blame them?
Round up. They can take things easy, it looks like, against MANDEM.
I hope they don't intend to just hold until they win. That's a long time.
They were doing that a lot of the early part of the season. I think they were kind of trusted the fact that they could turtle a lot of things. And, I mean, it's working out so far. It seems like they don't really have the recipe book for MANDEM to come up with ways to get in here, or at least solid ways.
Yeah, Tila, it looks like they just want to wait for MANDEM to send in players and then see if they can punish them immediately. They're really comfortable just playing this very passive brand of TF2 right now. They're just holding back. I think maybe they just had a couple of times where they tried to be aggressive and they got punished so heavily that they're just like, nah, let's just be annoying and play really passive. We're ahead. We actually can afford to do this. So
where are the traps for Zams? I'm trying to find them. I don't think they're anywhere. Oh, he's setting them one up on now. He's setting them on the one that was quite devastating against. Oh, they've got a sniper. That's caught me off guard, and I've got a wallhack.
Yeah, well, Pandemic spotted him just fine. Lost his head, but, you know, keeps his eye on the ball. They're going to jump in a soldier a little bit and then just back out. I think that was just to get some movement out of TLR so that Boulder could potentially get some good looks in here. Hard is in behind, almost. Not behind. That was Lada, sorry. Whereas Haunt was just on the flank. Yeah, you know, if you have an opponent that are just playing really passively, yeah, why not just go sniper? You have forever, right? They're just going to take a solo Uber with Pandemic. Interesting choice. Like, no one else is in the area code right now. But look how alone this medic is. Okay, finally, team comes in at just the right time, but Sam's, again, just get taken down immediately, just unable to find that perfect timing. Ooh. But Flick comes in, takes down Lardox, and all of a sudden, TLR is at a numerical advantage.
Yeah, Fancy goes down. I think he was thinking they were going to stay into mid a bit longer, but you are rocking a sniper. He hasn't got much presence in the game in that sort of first initial couple of seconds. You could be the best sniper in the world, but you can only shoot really one shot every like 5-10 seconds or so to kind of contribute to your team, and they could all be over in that same instance.
Absolutely. It's not enough advantage to really push up here. I think we're just going to get another setup here on last. Let's see where they decide to put up the sentry gun. I can't quite remember where I usually see the sentry gun. I think it's really far forward here on the left side. Usually people put it a little farther back on the high ground there, because this gun I think can be spammed from lower as well. But hey, here you can actually shoot when people come in from the right side. That's interesting.
Oh, Sam's has gone down.
Oh my god. Why is Sam's leading the charge?
I feel like I don't want to make it into a meme and bully the poor lad, but the dude is just giving me ammunition, Peter. Look at this man. He's just walking. Don't know how he's the first one in and always going down just immediately. Yeah,
it's happened a few too many times right now. And it's not the biggest deal in the world when it's a stalemate like this. You know, there are maps where you sometimes send in a demo man. Yeah.
So maybe, you know, this is kind of the ultimate debate. You're like, oh, the demo man is down, guys. We can go in now.
Maybe, yeah. All right, we've got a soldier. Let's see. Get launched by the sentry gun. That just give him a lot of time to work with, but no. All right, gets taken down by the sentry gun. Oh my god! How does this keep happening? I need to just watch it more.
They must he must be on like a deficit or something of heals, and they just don't want to pay off the load. Oh, they even get a slice out of Matters there. They pop off the Uber. Pandemic can't really find anyone. However, he's lost everyone in the maze of the blue, so might even go down as well. Lardox not really being supported by the rest of his team. I think it's because they're playing by Boulder and just hoping that the Boulder sniper kind of kicks in.
Yeah, he's going to stick on... Okay, maybe not stick on sniper. Looks like he might be running back. Yeah, he is now with the Ubrad. It's not the best thing in the world to have a sniper, but... Yeah, these last pushes, man, like right now it is just Sam's getting picked off over and over again. And just to make it clear, having a demo man is really important in these areas because he will start to push so hard.
Flick and Ryan maybe going for some sort of backcap play or something. That did not work out. The corridor was kind of ransacked, and they will lose a lot of players of that. And no overcharge was really used during all of this, so they can threaten again with this, keep snowballing it. I would be a little bit worried if I was on the side of TLR now. This is kind of throwy.
Yeah, you know, like if Sam runs out and dies now, we know he's throwing. Right?
Yeah, agency, sorry.
Yeah, all right, Lardox, he's in. Let's see. Gets a little boost from the sentry gun there as well. Medic is in the spawn. I think it was even an air shot onto that soldier as well.
Haunts is in this time and tries to get onto the place where June should be standing, but actually she's on the other side and sentry gun's rebuilt. I guess the Ubercharge, they weren't too confident of having that advantage still, so they didn't want to commit. They just want to throw a couple of soldiers in, see what they could get, and beg TLR to kind of push out here. But they're not buying.
Yeah, that's an interesting sticky trap in the lamp there from Fancy. I haven't seen that before. Like, surely you'd see that, but maybe it just kind of looks like a light bulb or something if you don't look at it properly. Not sure.
These traps are very volatile on these new maps as well, because you're not even aware of like geometry. Imagine what it's like being aware of all the props that you can hide stickies in.
That's very true. Always on new maps, usually like Romer. Oh, he gets it perfectly.
Speaking of geometry and props, Zams has a little trap hiding in the light bulb.
That's the one I was talking about.
Oh, I see. That's okay. I thought you were talking about a fancy one. So I was like, oh, Zams has got a cool one too.
Yeah, it was a fancy sticky trap. My bad. Yeah, I didn't even mean to do that.
I see where the mix-ups happened. Okay, you meant fancy the verb, not fancy the noun.
Yeah. It's a common mistake. My bad. But yeah, that is just a perfect example, as you were saying, about how like people don't even know to look for that. And usually on new maps, roamers and sticky traps are just absolutely brutal.
Well, Pandemic showing the world that he can snipe too, but it's all well and good getting one pick, Pandemic. What are you going to lead this up with, TLR?
You know, maybe Pandemic has an advantage because he came from Australia. He played in S46 for quite a while.
That is a good point. I never really thought about that aspect. So it does make sense why TLR have a kind of basic kind of setting for everything, it feels like, compared to MANDEM, where Fancy's just like, where's my team? Where's my team?
But yeah, I don't know if Pandemic played in S46 when... I don't know if this map was in S46.
He downloads all of... Well, you might be aware of it. Maybe probably watching it a little bit more.
Maybe.
You know?
Yeah.
Alright.
Yeah, so, also, if any of you guys are wondering like how good Pandemic was compared to other Australian scouts, like I would say Pandemic was maybe like a top 7 scout in S46 or something like. So that should give you an idea of how good they are.
Plus, he's grown. He's grown as a player since he's joined the ranks of EU. So
obviously, yes. Not even kidding when I say there's like better competition in ETF than S46. S46 is pretty small.
But let's see if this big fish in the big pond can do wonders. Boulder rocking the sniper class as well, so he's in good company. The best way to deal with a sniper is to just get another sniper. And,
Fancy gets taken down. That's a huge pick here. That could definitely cause them to move out. I think they're just happy to sit back here and last, to be honest. There's only a minute and 30 left.
I think they're fishing. They're seeing if they can put Pandemic in a place to like get more picks here. But this second point, kind of hard to snipe out of, I feel like, for all these doorways.
Yeah. So we should mention that in general, getting a reset here as the defending team is completely fine. In general, it's actually a good thing. And when you're ahead like this, yeah, you just want to waste time as well. You know, as a general rule. It's not like it's completely critical that you waste that extra minute when there's 9 minutes remaining in the map, but yeah.
And TLR have been winning their mids quite comfortably throughout this entire match. So the Ute comes out, they deal with the sentry gun, they counter pop over on TLR, and they're trying to get these doorways on lockdown, but they do inch out of it over on MANDEM. This is a good sign so far. There's a lot of spam initially for them, but they get out of it despite the spam. So, but the heavy weapons guy is here to play now, Beta, and it's going to be a tough, tall order to deal with what feels like a 7v6, basically, after that sentry gun.
Yeah, and at this point, they basically have to go for one last desperate push. They do actually have a small Uber ad, so potentially if they push in, they could actually pop their Uber first. But that's not even going to be a thing. They just get completely murdered in the choke. Nice fight from Samps. Does eventually go down. Actually, it's a lot closer than I thought, but the heavy is too much. Going to be a round reset here. We're just going to look at the point slowly decay here. As is the medic playing drums? All right, that makes sense.
I'm never shocked by any taunts in this game at this point. There's just so many wide variety. They could pull out any sort of instrument, or just anything.
Any vehicle, any weird
any
dance.
Animal. They're just turning into an animal. Yetis, all this stuff.
Yeah.
Oh, TF2 and its 15-year runtime.
I actually like crafting hats because I will always get one I haven't seen before. Anyway, let's see here. Really aggressive jump in here from the red soldiers immediately, looks like. And they're actually kind of going to be behind the lines.
Yeah, there's a lot more boyfriend bombing going off for TLR, but with both of these teams kind of trading sort of aggressive players, it's now up to the defending team to kind of step up. They do have a medic on their side, and nice pipe. Oh nice
my
pipe
God.
Coming out from Zams. You know what? I'm going to shave off 5 deaths for that. That was pretty good.
That was very good indeed. Just one more scout here for them to deal with. It is Yeehaw. Yeehaw is pretty scary, but when you have full heals and a scout body, those.
Because they were playing things so slowly and safe on TLR, it does mean that the midpoint isn't quite capped as quickly as they'd like. They actually throw in a soldier. Lardux kind of scouting things out for his team. It's going to go in, take the initial brunt of damage, but nobody really... Maybe a bit of follow-up from...
Oh, Samps.
Oh.
Yeah, Samps gets taken down again, but they did have to sacrifice 2 soldiers to do so.
They're still pushing in. Can you imagine most teams where they're like, our Doman's down, push?
Yeah. I mean, when you lose two soldiers for it, it's actually pretty reasonable here, especially when you have the grab, right? Like, you just push anyway. It is going to slow them down a lot, and, talk about being slowed down. Losing a soldier, that's definitely going to mean you're not going to be able to use this Uber advantage properly. Don't have a demo man, only 1 soldier. Yeah, you don't want to push on that. It's a nice little snack there from Boulder. Going to slow them down, but now we are in this situation where TLR, they could potentially just stall out the game. There's about 4.5 minutes remaining until the reset. Samps gets picked off there. Somehow, flying through the air, just gets picked off. So he's been disposed of again.
Oh, God, it really is just turning into a formula at this point. So the pandemic Uber charge.
Okay, Ryan's on the airstrike. I don't understand. Oh my God, I understand. That's insane. And the back cap as well.
Clip it, ship it, send it to YouTube. That was good. That was pretty good.
Yeah, perfect play. It makes perfect sense.
Yeah, perfect sort of commentary as well, Peter. I like that one. I don't understand. I understand.
Yep. Sometimes it just takes, you just got to witness the truth to understand.
All right, it's 2 rounds up. They've got their cushion. It's 4 minutes left. It's feeling pretty grim for MANDEM, so they're going to have to just kick things into a high gear, and it's going to be a perfected high gear as well. Mattez goes straight in alongside Ryan, but they're kind of baiting these soldiers in and just using Piggles as bait to then kind of carry things off from this point on. And it's worked out. Holy
TLR lost a mid.
They've lost the mid. Get the party poppers out. Stop firing the fireworks, as we've actually got... Oh my God, there's actually a firework in the background.
Oh, you also have fireworks? Yeah, I live in an area where there's like just fireworks going off all the time already. It's so dumb. Anyways, it's even Uber still. June very critically survived that. So Lardux is in. Kind of getting stunted there.
Okay, they go aggressive with the Uber charge. This is very optimistic. They do have the road. June has popped the Uber. It's like, team, where are you? I have an Uber charge.
Yeah, I think maybe they thought she was going to try to milk it a little bit more. But...
I mean, I don't know why they didn't milk it, to be honest, but hey ho, they now got level 1 sentry to deal with. It's going to get cleaned up rather quickly. Pandemic is back on the heavy weapons guy, but this is going to be making you nervous if you're heavy. You've got all these players that are kind of dancing around these chokeways and defending things and it might go down to these last couple of sort of skirmishing battles. Who can focus fire just that little bit better? Fancy wants to back out though. He does not really smell blood in the water and wants to play it safe.
Yeah, just a reminder, it's 2-0 for TLR and there's 2.5 minutes remaining. It's almost impossible here. They need to get around really quickly here.
Next Uber.
Basically, yes. They need to dot push, hope for the best, because you need to cap this and have like 1.5 minutes remaining to get another cap.
They've gone in from lower. The sentry gun does not see anybody. They pop off the Uber charge now. June using their Uber nice and early to, I guess, keep things really safe. And it's a heavy against the world at this point. The soldiers go in, they're focusing the heavy. He's got taken so much damage and he's still contributing things back to the fight. And Boulder still making the good fight happen, but will go down eventually. It's just that heavy diff.
And even Ubers, it's very, very difficult to just make that work. It doesn't, and that's going to be absolutely game. There's no way that they're going to get out here.
If only there was the banny rule set, it could have been a very different affair.
Yeah, true. That would we would only have to be here for another hour.
Potentially. It depends if whether or not these teams can figure out the map, but if you were put down into a mandatory golden cap, who knows how long this thing's gonna keep going. We've got a Crits Creek. It's 1 minute left. We're optimistic. We're farming frags at this point, Beta. You must be happy.
Yeah.
YouTube clips potential.
Yeah, that's always that's the only thing I care about, obviously. Yeah, so I'm happy. Alright, we've got Haunts going for the backup. Actually wins the fight. Yeah,
brings 3 players back. Oh, actually gets a crossbow. That was nice from June, like preemptively shooting the health back.
Yeah. Yeah, nice.
Okay, count with me, Twitch chat. There's 30 seconds left. I'm sure we can all do it in unison as Nams is capping off the point. There's one reason I want to look at these logs, Beta, and is I just want to tally up the amount of deaths on this poor demo man. He's got 14 for the previous map. How many will he have this map?
Yeah, 14? Yeah, I'm going to go with less than on the other map.
Higher or lower, chat?
12.
Higher or lower?
Lower.
I think he actually has lower, if I had to take a guess. I think you're right on the money with 12, but let's see. There we go. It's 2-0 to TLR, and thus 6 fat ETF2L points going against the top seed and the top dog of ETF2L. TLR have got to been feeling pretty good around about now, but we're going to humble them right in the logs against Pausams.
Oh, it was 15.
Damn it! You were wrong, chat. You should have gone higher.
Yeah. I mean, Fancy was also on 15, so I'm not sure what we could do to read into this, but absolutely crazy. I picked out MANDEM as my favorite to win the season early on. I'm not going to say it was my most confident pick ever, but to give you an idea of how surprised I am to see that TLR actually beat them, because I wrote them off after week 1, saying they're not very good. And they just 2-0'd them on both maps, just won them cleanly.
They've got to feel pretty vindicated at this point. The naysayers have been shut up, but keep in mind, this is week 4. There's still 3 weeks of growth, a playoff to happen. A lot of things can change between these two teams in the meantime, but congratulations are still in order for TLR. They have done really a good set of TF2 from my ends, and not even that sort of kind of cheesy, we've got around, we're just going to lord it over you. There were some very good decisions being made out here. Poor MANDEM, they feel like they were just more the victims of the maps, if I had to be brutally honest.
Yeah, absolutely. And again, just a reminder that there's 2 other matches going on right now. We just didn't have the personnel to cover all of them. So it should be pretty interesting. So we have on DumTum's stream, I think it's the Germans. Romcon Boogie versus Havoc. Okay, yeah. I think that one might have ended. I'm looking at DumTum. I think he's looking at Germans right now.
He's probably switched halfway through himself. The man is just, this is his stream, his rules. But to give you guys a chance to watch that stream, we're gonna have to say goodbye then. So obviously a goodbye from me, Turbo Tabs. Probably a goodbye from Beta as well. Beta?
Oh yeah. I do think I'm gonna leave people alone. I'm not gonna scream at them all night.
Yeah, that's nice of you. I was hoping for a nice little goodbye, but okay, I'll take it. Goodbye from J Max Chill as well. He can't speak, but I'll speak on his behalf. And a big goodbye from all the rest of teamfortress.tv. And maybe hello for all the rest of the season coming up to it. We'll see you then.